But looking on as it said here, so we think of giving. And my thoughts tonight is not on money. Yes, it's important to give to the Lord, give that which we need to give to the Lord, but that's not my thoughts tonight. My thoughts is in giving Him, as Brother Jason, as I asked him to sing that, I was glad he come in because I asked him to sing this song. Lord, I don't have much, but I give you everything. As I said, it doesn't matter so how much, but it's the Spirit that it's given in and how it's given that God can take and use it. Said, looking here into the 21st chapter. Of Luke. Starting here at the very first verse. This will also go along in with what Tanya was talking a while ago about whenever the widow lady made the cake for Elijah. She said, I only just have enough for a small amount. But whenever it was given because God had asked and it was given in the Spirit, that it was given in, folks, it wasn't just a small cake, but it ended up supplying needs far beyond. It wasn't small. And then you want, as far as I've got the title of this, it's not the amount, it's who's behind it. It's not the amount that's given, but it's who's behind it and what is given. You might say, well, I'm one who's behind it. If we give it with the thoughts, this is what I want to give. But if we get God behind what we give and do for Him, regardless of what it is I said, this is not on money, but this is on the fact of giving our time, giving Him our all. If we give Him all that we got, we might feel like it's a small amount. We might feel like that we don't have much to give, or as even education-wise or whatever. But if we take and let Him have His way and Him use us, He can have His way. Looking on at the here at the 21st chapter. So they looked up and saw the rich men casting in their gifts into the treasury. Saw them casting their gifts into the treasury. So then he saw also a certain poor widow casting in thither 2 mites. She didn't even have $1 to cast in. She cast in 2 cents, 2 pennies. What can you do with 2 pennies? You can't go buy a penny piece of candy anymore because they don't make it. 2 cents in our world today with a lot of people is worthless. It's useless. How about this? With the penny mark. What do the kids receive? Go around and receive on a Sunday morning. Little as much when God's in it. It might look like little when it's brought around and it's poured in the little church house here. It might look like it's a small amount and not worth very much, but people as they give, if you stop and think, it amounts up and God can use it. And I'll say this, a lot of the finances, we might say, well, not that big amount, but a lot of the finance that goes on, it will help each and every time whenever the insurance and all comes due, and it helps a big amount when it's counted up and the penny margin counts in. We might say, well, yeah, but we give this and give that. When it adds up, we find that the pennies, they mean a lot more. People in this world, it might not seem like much, and as I said, there's not anything as a penny piece of candy, but a penny march for God amounts up I know we're not a big group here. No, we don't have a lot to work with. But God takes and God blesses. God meets needs. But going on as the scripture said here, as the rich man they cast into the treasury. It didn't hurt them. Come on back to the penny march. It wouldn't hurt them. As they took, and the rich men as they went around, and maybe as the penny march went about, and the young people as they went around and give it and put it in. People that for the rich person, they can take the $5 bill instead of a couple of pennies and put in that, and it not hinder them at all. But a lot of times they give out in abundance because they look and say, "Look what I have." But if the Spirit is behind it, as the widow, and we'll see here in the scripture, as she cast in them 2 pennies, she cast in more than they all. Why? Because she gave all that she had. Little as much of God in it. Lord, I don't have much, but what I have, I give it to you. Amen. Look at what the scripture said here. It says she cast in 2 mites. So then he said, of a truth. Listen close to this. This is Jesus speaking here. Of a truth. I say to you that this poor widow hath cast in more than they all. Not just what one of them give, not what just one of the rich give, but her 2 mites was worth more than all the others would give in all of that. Why? Because they just give a portion, but she give her everything that God's work can go forth. She didn't hold back anything, but she put her faith and her trust in Him. That God can meet the needs. We cannot hold back on God. We cannot try to keep what we want to do just for self. But we have to do it as God can have His way. Goes ahead in that 4th verse and said, "For all these have of their abundance cast in unto the offerings of God. But she of her Henry has cast in all the living that she had." All that she had. Just the widow of the cake. So Elijah said, "Make me a cake first." She was going to take and use it, make her herself a cake, and then lay down and die. But people would put God first. Death didn't come, but living come, because she put her living into God, that God could have His way. He gave her life. It wasn't death for her, but it was life because she gave it to God. Say, well, she gave it to Elijah. She didn't give it to Elijah, she gave it to God. Yes, she made Elijah the cake, but it's because God had said for it to be done. She was obedient to God, as Tanya had said earlier. I didn't know that's what Tanya was going to talk on either. But look at what it said here. It says, "And some spake of the temple, how it was adorned with goodly stones and gifts. He said, As for these things which ye behold, the days will come, in the which there shall not be left one stone upon another, that shall not be thrown down." All of this that you see, one day is going to all fall. But what's done for God will last. As those that was rich had given in of their abundance. They was a building their worldly goods and things around and looking to all of what they had. But she was given as unto the Lord. I was going over to another story. Go over to John, the 6th chapter. A very familiar passage of Scripture, starting in the first verse of the 6th chapter of John. It says, after these things, Jesus went over the Sea of Galilee, which is the Sea of Tiberias. And a great multitude followed him because they saw his miracles, which he did on them that were diseased. And Jesus went up into a mountain, and there he sat with his disciples. And the Passover, a feast of the Jews, was nigh. Listen on to this next scripture, this next little portion of Scripture. It said here, when Jesus then lifted up his eyes and saw a great company coming to him, he said to Philip, when shall we buy bread that these may eat? I think Tanya was talking to Sister Angie or something a little bit about these scriptures here Friday night. I think I might have made mention that it's already on my mind. Because I was going down the road the other day. This got on my mind and I reached over and jotted down this title. But as I looked, and he said within this, it said to Philip, when shall we buy bread that these may eat? How are we going to buy bread that they can eat? He saw the multitude. This multitude was following because they'd seen the miracles. But Philip looked and he thought, we're not going to have no bread to give them. I think Tanya may have mentioned the other night something about not talking about natural bread. But as the Scripture said, as Philip looked, and as Jesus said here, when shall we buy bread that they may eat? Goes ahead and said, and this he said, to prove him, for he himself knew what he would do. Jesus knew what he would do, but man did not know as to what he would do. Man did not know what was there. Man did not know what was taking place. As Jesus asked him, he says, how are we going to buy bread that these can eat? Going on as it said here. It says, Philip answered him, 200 pence worth of bread is not enough for them. $2 worth of bread is not enough for them. We're talking about feeding 5,000 people. I believe it was 5,000 men. And then all the others and all, but we're fed 5,000. But he said, 200 pence worth of bread is not enough. $2 worth. But back in the other story, Jesus had taken and he said the 2 pennies that the widow had cast in was more than all the others had cast in. You know, in their multitude, what they had cast in was more than any $2 worth. But he said this 2 pennies is worth more than all of it. People, if God behind it, if God behind what we do, he can take it and he can take a little bit and he can make a whole lot out of it, because God is not limited to take the $1 and He can multiply it, that His will can be done, that His work can be done. Amen. Look at what it said here. Go ahead and read that 7th verse again. It says, Philip answered him, 200 pence worth of bread is not sufficient for them, that every one of them may take a little. Not even enough that they can take a little. Not even enough, as we could probably say, even for a bite. Probably not even hardly, as you say a lot of times, not even a smell of it that they would all get. Not enough to do them any good. It's the way that Philip was looking at it. People, it doesn't matter as to how little it is. If we take and lay it in the hands of God in the way that He wants it to be laid. Go back for just a moment, as I said about the $1 and the $5. See, the rich, they probably laid in more like that. Yes, the widow laid in the 2. Regardless if it's $5, $1, 2 cents. I've seen children, God would bless them. They would receive something. Say, I want to give that back to God. I want to give it to God. And people, God blesses it. Why? Because the heart that it was given in, the way that it was given it, God could use it, that it could be a blessing, and it could meet the needs. Going on, as it said here, it said one of His disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, said unto Him, listen unto this. There is a lad here which has 5 barley loaves and 2 small fishes. But what are they among so many? Here now we take. They said, well, it goes that $2 worth of bread would not be sufficient. And now then they said, this little boy, he has 5 barley loaves, 2 fishes. But they were on the man's view. He said there's still not going to be enough to feed 5,000. There's not going to be enough to take and meet the need that they can all be filled. But look at all this is said here. Goes ahead and says, and Jesus said, make men sit down. Says, now there was much grass in the place. So men sat down in number about 5,000. And Jesus took the loaves. When He had given thanks, He distributed to the disciples, and the disciples to them that were set down. And likewise of the fishes, and much as they would. So when they were filled, listen close to this. 5 barley loaves, 2 fishes. But it says in the scripture here, when they were filled, He said unto His disciples. Now man looked and he said, there's not going to be enough. Those 5 barley loaves and the 2 fishes, they're not enough that these men can be filled. They're not going to be enough for them to even get a bite of it. But whenever God took and He blessed it and He got in His hands, and people, if we get our lives in His hands, then He can meet the needs as He will. If we'll lay it all at His feet and put our lives in His hands, then He can meet the needs as He will. Look at what is said here. It said, when they were all filled, He said unto His disciples, wait a minute. How can they gather anything? There's not going to be enough to go around. There's not going to be enough to go around. Jesus told them, He said, gather up the fragments that remain, that nothing be lost. Gather up the fragments that remain, that nothing be lost. And people, as we look into this, if we will take and lay our life in the hands of God, then those fragments can be gathered up. That nothing will be lost. It's time that we reach out to the souls. And this is Mission Month. And we're going to mention here in a little bit. This is October World Mission Month. And we stop and think that it's time we take and we give our life to the Lord and let God have His way. That He can take, that the fragments can be gathered up, and the baskets can be filled up, and that the souls can be reached and won for Him. People, it's time that we lay our all on the altar and lay our all in His hands that He can have His way. Lord. It's not the value that we look at it, but it's the value that God looks at it. Man has placed too much value on too many things and not enough value on what God can do. Look at what it said here. It told them to gather up the fragments that remain, that nothing be lost. It says, therefore they gathered them together and filled 12 baskets with the fragments of the 5 barley loaves, which remained over and above unto them that had eaten. 12 baskets was being able to be taken up. God can meet the needs when we lay our all down with Him. When we look to Him and be obedient to Him. But as it went ahead and said here, it says, then those men which they had seen, when they had seen the miracle that Jesus did said, this is of a truth, that prophet that should come into the world. This is that prophet that should come into the world. This is Him. This is the one that should come into the world. People, we look to Him. I want to go on down into the 22nd verse. Read a few verses on down through here. Goes ahead and says, the day following, when the people which stood on the other side of the sea saw that there was none other boat there, save that one whereunto his disciples were entered, and that Jesus went not with his disciples into the boat, but that his disciples were gone away alone. And I know we've looked at some of this before, but look at what it said here. It says, howbeit there came other boats from Tiberias nigh unto the place where they did eat bread. After that the Lord had given thanks. When the people therefore saw that Jesus was not there, neither his disciples, they also took shipping and came to Capernaum, seeking for Jesus. And when they had found him on the other side of the sea, they said unto him, Rabbi, when camest thou hither? Jesus answered them and said, Verily, verily, I say unto you, ye seek me not because ye saw the miracles, but because ye did eat of the loaves and were filled. It says, labor not for the meat which perisheth, but for that meat which endureth unto everlasting life, which the Son of Man shall give unto you. For him hath God the Father sealed. Eat of the bread of life. Yeah. Eat of the bread of life. Eat of what God has given. And God can bless it. And we'll look to Him. And we'll let Him have His way. Goes ahead and says, says, then said they unto him, what shall we do that we might work the works of God? Jesus answered and said unto them, this is the work of God, that ye believe on him whom he hath sent. Believe on the Lord. Look to the Lord. Obey the Lord and do his will. Let God have his way. If it's in the right hand, if it's better, we'll look to the Lord. God can bless and God can have his way. I want Brother Jason, if he would, to get ready and come back and sing that.